All right, we are recording here today. We have our first featured guest for our Owners Club series. We have Isabelle Caggiano. Hopefully I said that correctly.
You did.
All right. And her vacation rental is called the Peaceful Peach. Love that name. And it is in Ellijay, Georgia. So Isabelle, if you could just tell us a little bit about your vacation rental today and also share your journey that brought you to today.
Sure. So our rental is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom cabin in Ellijay, Georgia. If anyone's not familiar, that's a small town about 15 minutes south of Blue Ridge, which is a little bit of a bigger town. They have a couple restaurants, bars, hiking, creek wading, mining. It's all outdoor activities. It's a very family-friendly area. And my cabin is about 5 minutes from downtown Ellijay, but it's located at the end of a long, secluded property. So it's like you're so far away from everything, but then you drive up the road 5 minutes and you're in downtown with all the restaurants and all the fun.
Nice.
The location's perfect. And yeah, how we got started was we were originally looking for a house where we live on Long Island after we got married last year in June. And everyone knows what the housing market was like during that time.
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm supposed to buy a house, right? Like get married and buy a house. Like everyone
does.
And then we kind of started doing some math, or I started doing some math and realizing if we had bought a house on Long Island where minimum you're spending $600,000 and I'd say on average $13,000 in taxes for your house, which would most likely be like a 3-bedroom house, we'd be living paycheck to paycheck for quite a while. And I wasn't ready for that, especially because the houses you do get they need work, you know?
Sure.
So I said, let's make this money work for us somehow. I started doing all this research. I initially was interested in multifamily investments and I was like, we can do this, but it didn't really excite me. And what did excite me was when I stumbled upon short-term rentals. I was like, I would love to be a host. And I think I'd be really good at it because I feel like I intuitively know how to make people happy and what I would want as a guest, especially all the money they spend. And that's really how it started. It was a adventure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always say, vacation rental business, it's not the same as having an investment property or a rental. It's a hospitality business, and you have to have that focus as an owner in order to be the most successful that you can be, my opinion. So actually, let me ask you this. So how did you choose the name, the Peaceful Peach?
I don't know why. I know Georgia is like the peach state, but peaches are so pretty and I feel like they're such a cute symbol. And I did some market research and nobody's cabin like had the name Peach in it. And I was like, really? I'm like, okay. So that's number one, because logistically you want to think of search engines, what comes up, what looks unique, what stands out, right? And as far as Airbnb and VRBO or whatever you're using to advertise, you want your name to stand out. And so I was like, I want to do Peach something. I had posted in a Atlanta social group that was full of women. They're all amazing about help me name this cabin. I had the Peaceful Peach. I said something about apple because it is red. And I said also Peaches and Dreams was another thing I was kind of thinking about. Peaches and Dreams is like a play off Peaches and Cream, the hip hop group. So the majority of people actually said like you should name it something apple because it's red. But for some reason I was like, I really like the Peaceful Peach and I kept going with it. And I'm really glad I did because like people love to use the name and refer to it as the peach. Even my cleaner was like, I'm heading to the peach. It's like, it's just like worked out so well. I have a cute little like symbol I put on plugs and I'm really glad I chose that name. And peaceful, obviously, because it's literally just surrounded by woods. It's silent. You can't see or hear your neighbors. You just hear birds and trees swaying. It's so nice. And being from New York, like we don't really get to experience that, especially on Long Island, like the sound of silence, like not even hearing cars. It's like, it's so special, you know?
Sure.
So that's
Well,
really
and
how
that's and I'd say that's a feeling you want to, be able to draw your guests in is like, okay, you're going to experience some peace here at the Peaceful Peach. So I'm sure that that also draws them in just to looking at your listing,
yeah,
is just to see the word peaceful. It's like, oh, I want something peaceful, especially
yeah,
if they're coming from somewhere like you live
yeah.
in as well. So,
And I get a lot of people say, like, lately the market has been mostly last minute bookings, and I'll get people saying,
okay.
we just need to get away from the craziness for a couple of days. I've seen a lot of that. And I think what you just said is a great point, that people even maybe subconsciously see the word peaceful, and it could help trigger more clicks on my listing.
Yeah.
Instead of me writing secluded cabin in the woods as my title, you know?
Yep, completely with you on that. And I totally
Yeah.
agree. Having a unique name helps you to stand out when people are scrolling because, they're scrolling through hundreds to try to find the right one that they want to stay in. So it's like what can grab them. I think you've done it with the Peaceful Peach. It grabbed me when I saw you on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I like this Peaceful Peach. So I'm going to connect here with Isabelle, and the rest is history, shall we say. So if you could turn back the clock back to before you started this journey, what would be like that piece of advice that you would give yourself that would probably benefit other owners as well?
I think what comes to mind first, especially being a long distance investor and host, is that every problem is solvable, even if you're not there. Because when you're going into this, I'm sure everyone feels the same way that has been in my shoes or is in my shoes. You think of the million things that could go wrong. And a lot of those things will happen. What if the power goes out? What if there's a tornado? What if a bear opens my garbage bin like they did last night and literally left garbage all over my driveway? Yes, that happened last night at 12 a.m. Okay, so I worked a 12 and a half hour shift, and I was laying on my couch, and my ring floodlight.
Yeah.
So it's another tip. Everyone get a ring floodlight if you're not
nice.
have one. They're the best. Oh my God. So I'm like, I usually don't check because there is a lot of wilderness out there, raccoons, possums, there's a cat that hangs out. I was like, let me just look. And I see this bear on top of my bear proof bins, ripping the garbage out, and I'm yelling at him. And the first time I scared him, so I thought maybe he's going to retreat, but then he realized I was not there and it was just a voice, and he didn't even look up after. He just consisted to take the trash out and everything. So it's fine. Everything's solvable, and it is scary, but if I could go back in time, I would tell myself to worry less, because everything has a resolution. Everything, you can fix anything, and nothing's permanent,
It's a good point.
And also to not overanalyze as much. It is a huge step and it's risky, but if you're committed and you did your math on numbers, and it'll be okay. I wish I could have told myself that, because I was freaking out when we did this. I was like, what the heck are we doing? And then our whole family was like, what the heck are you doing? You're buying a cabin in Georgia. Why? You're not in the house? Are you moving?
So you had to overcome some naysayers, if you will, in the beginning then
too,
with family.
I think a lot of people do. And I understand why people are questioning it. People are like, well, who's going to manage it? And I was like, I am. And they're like, what do you mean you are? You don't live there. You work full time. You're in school. I don't understand. But I was able to do it. I'm still doing it. Is it easy? No. Do I love it? Yes. So I would go back and tell myself, be like, it's going to be fine. You got this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. That is some great advice. I appreciate that. When you say that, I remember when I opened my first vacation rental, very first guest, very first night, smoke alarm batteries.
No.
Yeah. They start chirping at like 11 o'clock at night, and we get the call, and it's like, okay, note to self, always change your smoke alarm batteries every 6 months as recommended. Don't ever let that slide.
Yes, definitely.
Nice. So, do you have a direct booking website, or do you only use booking platforms? And which booking platforms do you use?
Yes, I have a direct booking site. I use the property management software called Guesty. It had a
Okay.
former name, and I already forgot. Oh, Your Porter. It was Your Porter a couple months ago. Now it's Guesty. It's
Okay.
incredible.
Okay.
I only have one rental, so I've heard a lot of people switch over to owner res after they have more than one.
Okay.
However, I love Guesty, and they come with a free direct booking website.
Okay.
It's www.staydirectly.peacefulpeachcabin.com.
Nice.
So that's the catch. You don't get your own cute little URL with nothing in, just your name. And I was like, oh, we can save money not paying for that and just use the free service that we're paying for with the software. I have actually last year gotten at least 5 direct bookings through, which was great because I didn't expect any. You know, a lot of people want the security and safety of booking through Airbnb and VRBO.
Sure.
With this direct booking website, when the email is triggered that someone has booked, I use Stripe to process the transactions. Stripe takes 3%, and I collect Georgia taxes through that as well. So it's super easy. And then I also send out a rental agreement that I made up, but also use like segments from examples online of things you might forget about. And I send that out, make sure they sign it. I send them a signed copy. And then other than that, I use Airbnb and VRBO. Most of my bookings come through Airbnb. I've gotten 2 VRBO bookings in the past 6 months.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I actually like Airbnb a little bit more. It's user friendly. They charge the host less. I don't know if they charge the guest less, but I found it much easier to use and more appealing than VRBO. Not to bash VRBO, but
nope, I get it. There is a place for each, I believe, from
yeah.
what I know and see. So, because
But
I have other people that I've talked to that said they've gotten more through VRBO, or that's the only one they use. And I'm like, okay.
My neighbor literally up the road only uses VRBO.
Sure.
So it's to each their own.
So when people have gotten to the Stay Directly Peaceful Peach, how have they found it? Like, where are you promoting it? Instagram, Facebook, other places?
So I had put the link on my Instagram and just started adding people, whoever came up with my suggestions. And I actually got 2 bookings just from that, which it's crazy to think about because you're like, you just go on my Instagram and you like the pictures and booked. The other way is through, and anyone could do this in their vacation market. There's usually always a Facebook group. Facebook groups are amazing for networking. Like I cannot say that enough. If you need help with anything in this life, find a Facebook group. Seriously, like it's just anything. So there's a Facebook group for Northern Georgia cabin owners book direct. So people seek cabins. There's a lot of people there and there's a lot of competition. One person will post, hey guys, looking for May 14th, 17th, and there'll be like 50 comments. And there I am. Every time I always scroll through. And what I did was on iPhones, I don't know about other Androids or whatever, you can make a quick link for like a phrase. So if I type stay direct in my keypad, this whole thing comes up that says, our cabin is a 3-bedroom, sleep 6. It's here, here, and here. Here's my Instagram. So it's like very easy for me to stay direct and boom, it all populates. Super easy.
Good job.
So yeah, I haven't gotten many direct bookings, but I hope in the future I will get more because I definitely prefer them. It's better for the host and the guest, honestly.
Right.
You can still keep your security deposit if they, for example, I had a guest bring a golden retriever that stayed direct. I messaged her. I said, I'm sorry if there's a misunderstanding, but we keep our cabin hypoallergenic for guests who are allergic. I'm going to have to charge you a pet fee. She said, fine. I kept it. No issues.
Sure.
So
That's things interesting. I mean, people, I don't know if more people just assume they're pet friendly or they just want to sneak it past the owner.
I won't lie. They tried to sneak it past the owner. Past me, the owner. Yeah. They kind of like parked their car away from the camera and then like snuck him around.
Yeah. That's cute.
I also took my laundry basket too. I never charged them for that, but it's okay.
Oh. feel like I already have the other one. I'll just
all
use
this
that.
quirk-
We'll be
all
even.
these quirks that just happen. Like
Yep.
you
Go
learn
with
to
the
just
flow.
roll with the punches. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So are you looking to purchase another vacation rental? Or are you happy with just having the one?
I dream of owning at least 10.
Oh, goodness. Nice.
Yeah, I want to scale this. I will be honest, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I am determined. I've been looking in markets that have not been posted all over social media, or not everyone's talking about,
Okay.
more niche markets.
Yeah.
In particular, I was looking at this one market in Florida, which is specific to people who go scalloping and go looking for manatees, ecotourism,
Okay.
and fishing. Am I a fisherman or a scallop collector? No, but I will put in the time and research and effort to make it look like I am, and I can cater to those people. So we're definitely looking. It's been tough. The market is tough.
Yeah.
The mortgage rates are crazy. They actually have made some investments look from good investments to not that good investments. Once you pay all the closing costs, everything's up right now. So it's definitely hard. We're kind of just taking a laid back approach and kind of just seeing what's out there. I'm not being too aggressive. I don't want to make a mistake, because I feel like a lot of people told me in the beginning, a lot of the really kind people that helped me in these Facebook groups and whatnot, told me the first one's the hardest. I will say the second one is the hardest. Because the first one, it doesn't have to be a home run. It just has to be get into this market if you want to be in it, right? Into this business. Okay. But the second one is like, okay, I did it. It's working, I think, but now I need something that will establish the future of this.
Okay. Like, is there more pressure, do you think, that you've put on yourself?
Yeah, and more analyzing. Especially now that I know what costs could come with being a homeowner. I don't own my own house. I know a lot of people who start short-term rentals do. And that's how they actually, a lot of people finance their first rentals from taking out a HELOC or refinancing on their primary home. But we don't have one. So I know all this stuff that comes with home care. Oh my gosh, like everything, the water heater, the plumbing, the pipes, the driveway, erosion. I don't know about erosion. Like,
right.
So, yeah, but that being said, I'm going into it with much more knowledge, even just a couple of months, things to look out for and things that could potentially cost me thousands of dollars, that I might have overlooked when I bought my first cabin, which I did, but it's a learning experience for sure. And you can read, listen to everything you want when you're getting started out, but nothing's going to prepare you like actually doing it and making some mistakes. So
sure. So now you said you were kind of looking at in Florida a little bit. So what do you think is the best way, or what are you doing to learn a little bit more about Florida home ownership, insurance, things like that you may not yet know?
Yeah, definitely. It all starts with Google and asking around as well. I've called, you mentioned insurance. I've called insurance companies, just getting random quotes just to see what I'm looking at, so that I don't make an offer and then it's like, surprise, flood insurance is $5,000 a year. Yeah. Also just looking up tourism in certain towns. What's the high season, low season? What expansions are coming to the area? What infrastructure? What am I trying to say? How is that community enhancing the infrastructure? Like this one particular town, I found out that they just expanded the highway. So now it's even faster to get from the main city to this small town, which is great. Things like that. And definitely talking to people. Like if you're interested in a market, you can go on one of the short-term owners or investment groups and say, hey, does anyone own in Tampa? I'd love to pick your brain. And so many people are willing to help. It's actually like amazing, because they're just giving you their time, just out of kindness. Nice, they're not getting anything out of it. Right. And that's why I have no problem answering questions if someone has a
Sure.
question for me, because that's how I got started. People helped me. I honestly might have not have done this without people that I'd never even met in my life encouraging me and helping me.
Nice, especially if you have family or friends that are like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Are you
Yeah.
sure? You sure
Yeah.
you should do this? Do you
Yeah.
know what you're doing?" I'm like, "No, but I'm doing it anyway."
No.
No,
So
I don't. So are you currently like, are you satisfied with the number of bookings that you're getting, or are you looking for ways that you can increase the number of bookings?
I'm definitely looking for ways to increase number of bookings. I think right now it's a very unique situation in terms of the market for renters. Between inflation, my destination being a driving destination, and everything else that's going on,
Good
it's
point.
definitely been much slower than my previous year's projections would have been. Um,
Sure.
and other people, a lot of people in the Northern Georgia area, I've noticed have been venting in
Yeah,
forums or whatnot about how slow their bookings are. So I know it's not just me, it's almost everyone.
sure.
So my booking lead time right now is 4.2 days
Okay.
average. That is
Wow.
like on the edge of the seat. I'm still like, are we gonna book this weekend?
Like, I don't know. I hope so.
In this market,
Yeah.
it's been tough because you want to find a balance between lowering your prices to adjust to the
Yeah.
current climate, but not lowering it too much where someone who could potentially come and destroy your cabin because it's so cheap
Right.
and have a party.
Right.
Um,
You
lowering
attract a
my
different level of clientele with cheaper prices versus higher prices. So yeah, good
1,000%.
point. Yeah.
And booking minimums, I like to keep a 3-night minimum, but that has been unheard of the past 2 months. I've had 2-night minimums. That has increased my bookings, but I'm still looking for more ways without, spending too much because we're not making as much,
Sure. Good point.
So I'm staying positive, like I said before, everything's temporary. The economy
Yeah.
will level out eventually.
Yeah.
I do feel like my rental stands out a bit. It's not very traditional looking inside. There's a lot of, there's a hundreds of beautiful cabins. I don't
Yeah.
have a view and I'm not on the water. So I really have to like try, a little hard.
Sure. So what improvements then do you currently have like planned or are you thinking about for your cabin? Do you have any more? I know you've done
Yeah.
a couple already, but
We've been talking about, I have a shed and I have a carport, and we're potentially talking about turning one of them into a game room and going to start getting quotes on that. Because I do notice a lot of people have mentioned that they are booking cabins for with kids and are hoping for a pool table or foosball, whatever it is. So we're trying to figure out benefit versus risk of not having our carport anymore because that's the
sure.
best structure for it. It's big and it's open. It would be great to put some games in there.
Yeah.
Shed is like a little bit dumpy. It definitely has mold in it. It needs to
Okay.
be remediated. It would be a tougher project, but then we'd be able to keep our carport. So we're kind of going back and forth on that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really want to get an outdoor sauna. They cost about $5,000
Okay. Yeah.
to add to that whole serenity, peaceful vibe. Come
Sure.
here and bring some wine, get in the sauna, get in the hot tub.
I was gonna say you have a hot tub and you moved it at
Yes,
some point, right? Okay.
yes. We moved it it was on a concrete platform, kind of like on the dirt next to the fire pit. We made it more accessible. So we moved it up to the deck next to the picnic table, next to the back door, so that especially when it's 40 degrees out in the winter, people aren't like, running up.
Drapes and
It's not comfortable. No one wants to do that.
yeah.
You
Now,
know,
did you have to add on to your deck in order to move that?
yeah, we spent about, I forget now. I think over $4,000 moving the
Okay.
hot tub and building that little extension of the deck.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's been worth it, and people actually have commented in reviews that they love that the hot tub's so easy to get to, and
Sure.
it's one amenity a lot of people look for, especially when booking a cabin, is some sort of
Yeah.
hot tub or pool, whatever it is.
Especially in the mountains there. It's a
Mm-hmm.
common thing to have that hot tub there. So
Yeah,
um
definitely. So
So,
yes,
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, since we're lacking what a lot of other cabins do have is a, like a beautiful view or a water feature, a creek, a river. What I was saying before, like we just really I have to really put more effort in and kind of do some research on what they're charging and then adjust my pricing accordingly. I can't just trust Price Labs, what they're telling me I should be charging, because Price Labs taking in all this data with all these amenities. I have to know my place.
Yeah.
But I do think my cabin is decorated a lot different than a lot of cabins. It's not bear themed and everything's not brown. No offense, it's super cute. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very popular. And a lot of people do notice that it's still a cabin cozy feel, but it's a little more modern and has a lot of cute decorations all over, like antiques and little things.
Very tastefully decorated and not just the standard run of the mill bear or moose or whatever they have.
Bear everything.
Not that you're knocking that.
Not knocking it. It's super cute. But there's too many.
Tell us again where people can find your cabin online. What would you prefer would be the website address that they use?
Oh, I will. Let me just make sure I'm dictating it correctly.
Okay. So I want to make sure if people are watching this and they want to go stay at the Peaceful Peach, that they can find it easily.
So it's peacefulpeachcabin.staydirectly.com. Okay. And on there, you can email me if you have questions. You can book directly. You can say, hey, I watched this video. I'll send you a discount, of course.
Nice.
Yes, definitely.
I love it.
Yeah. So email me before. My contact information is on that website as well. You can text me too. My phone number is there. And that would be the best way because it benefits both of us.
Sure.
Mostly the guests, because I still get 3% taken out for credit card fees as Airbnb charges, but the guest doesn't have to pay 14% in service charges, which I believe is what Airbnb charges at this point.
Yeah, it's like they go to look and see like, oh, it's only going to be $150. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, but add this fee and add this fee. And then there's this fee. And then they're like, wait, what? How much am I paying for 3 nights? Right. So yeah, I agree. It's so much better for the guests if they can book directly with you. It's just sometimes hard because people don't know, how do I find the Peaceful Peach? So hopefully just even this will help you get some more bookings and they'll be like, okay, give us the welcoming wow discount. How's that? Perfect. Yeah, that was so is there anything that you wished I would have asked you today that I didn't ask you, or something you just want to tell everybody about?
Let me think. I think we covered a lot, the challenges of being a new host, being a long distance host. Yeah. Oh, advice for everybody. Never, ever, ever pay someone before the work is done. That is something I've been victim to twice now. And the second is my fault because I should have learned, but I'm too nice and I feel bad for everybody. And, someone's like, I need to pay my workers. I'm like, oh, okay, here you go. And then they never come back. So yeah, don't awful. Get quotes on everything, get multiple quotes. But something I wish you asked, I mean, I think we covered the important stuff, definitely. And I hope that whatever I said didn't scare anyone wanting to be a host. I
highly doubt it, but if they do their research, I think they'll end up seeing as well, like you did, that it is worth it. It's worth the investment if you're willing to put in the work, because it's not necessarily easy. If you have the right mindset of being in the hospitality business, I think that's when somebody can be the most successful as well.
Yeah. And you just reminded me of something I did want to touch upon, which maybe could have been formatted in a question of how do you conduct yourself as a host? How do you treat your guests? And I sincerely mean this, that people are spending their hard-earned money and free time at your place. Yeah. And that experience should be special for them.
Sure.
Almost everyone I leave some sort of wine out for, as long as it's appropriate. A lot of guests I'll have, there's a local bakery, I'll have fresh goods delivered to them in the morning, like little bundt cakes or
Oh,
cupcakes sometimes. If it's a special occasion, I make sure there's some champagne or something, we're coming for our anniversary. I check in on them the morning of and make sure they're having a 5-star experience. I say 5-star to implant the seed of please give me 5 stars.
I like it. That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah, I think I format it as we pride ourselves in providing a 5-star experience for you. If there's anything that is below that,
Yeah.
please let me know. And if, asking them if they need help making reservations when they book, is there anything I can help you plan? Being more than a host, be a concierge. You should know about the area. I don't live in Ellijay. My first time there was when I bought the cabin, but I took in as much information as I can. I still do because I want the guests to feel like I have all the answers.
Sure. Well, you're really the only person that they can go to. I mean, really, they could obviously go into town and ask somebody there, but you're the host.
Exactly.
I look at it as they're a guest in my home.
Yeah.
So how would you want them to feel?
Exactly. My guest this weekend had asked a question I didn't know the answer to. She said, if I know any slow running creeks that are safe for kids to wade in. And I actually wasn't positive because I know there's a really cute park that has a creek with a playground. I was like, is that a fast flowing creek? So I went to Facebook, asked my group of Ellijay people. I got like 5 different answers and I felt safe in providing her a place to go and they had a great time. So you're not going to know everything, but people will help you.
Right. Well, that's fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So
I really appreciate you taking the time today and being on this interview with us and sharing your wisdom with the world. I'm expecting some follow-up questions, and if we get them, I'll be sure to, reach back out to you again so that we can get those questions answered as I'm releasing the interview, and then also, as people are watching it in the future, because we both know they will. So I appreciate it so much. Any last words?
No, if you're a new host, go for it. It'll be awesome. Make sure you do your calculations. Don't just buy something because it's cute.
Don't just buy it because it's cute. I like it.
If you have all that money, fine. But thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It was so nice to talk to you, and I'm excited for your journey too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, I appreciate you being on.
Thank you.